Meet the Arzopa A1 portable monitor. In this video, you're going to get a hands-on look of all the specs, some of the features, and by the end of the video, you're going to figure out if this is worth it or not. The monitor is 15.6 inches, and you can kind of get a sense of how it looks next to a 14-inch MacBook Pro. It's very light. This monitor is like a pound or 1.6 pounds. It's much lighter than the 14-inch MacBook Pro here. The resolution is 1920 by 1080, and for a 15.6-inch screen, I think that's plenty. It has a 60 Hz refresh rate, and it's also an IPS screen. On the side of the monitor, it has 3 ports in total. It has one mini HDMI and then has 2 USB-C. There is a menu, and the menu has a bunch of configurations to change things like brightness, contrast, and a bunch of other settings too. For the features of my experience using it, it was very easy to set up. I unboxed it, I plugged it into my MacBook, and it was perfect. It turned on right away. I even plugged it into my phone and it turned on. I will go into a little bit more about some of the power settings and some of the configurations later, but it worked pretty good, and that was really nice to see. I was initially worried about the 1080p screen being a little bit too low resolution, like pixelated or blurry, but I plugged it into my MacBook and then moved some windows over it, and it was actually like way better than I anticipated. I think the resolution and the quality is fine for most applications, like especially if you're using it for a second screen for word processing or emails or work chats. If you're looking to do anything specific like high resolution gaming or photo editing, I might stay away, but for like having it as a second screen for those like secondary tasks, I think it's perfect. I love how absolutely thin it is. It's like super duper thin, which is great because you could pack it away in a lot of different places. I am excited to use this for travel, and if I'm going somewhere where I need a second screen, having the ability to pack this in my bag. I might put this in like a protective sleeve, but a lot of bags have plenty of space for this size screen. So I talked about it plugging into my computer and it powering on perfectly, and it had full brightness and everything. I actually wanted to use this to plug into my phone and use it as like a monitor for recording when I'm doing videos with my phone. This is a camera, but certain times I'm using my phone and I wanted the ability to like monitor what I'm doing. Using things like the remote camera on my watch or like other screens you can plug in haven't really been effective. But this monitor actually worked really well because my phone has USB-C and the monitor also accepts USB-C. You could plug it right in and it works. And I was super impressed. I did notice that it was like not as bright as what you would expect when you plug in a computer or something like that. But I did find that if I powered it on through like a secondary like battery pack, which is what I was using, but you can also plug it into the wall, you'll get like a boost of power, which will give you a boost of brightness. But like if you're using this for your phone for gaming or a bigger screen, there might be other options, especially if you're looking for something with a high refresh rate. But I was using it purely for a monitor for my phone, and it worked out really well. Oh, and one more thing. It totally has a kickstand on the back. So you can pop this kickstand up, and then you can do a lot of different viewing angles. It will work when it's horizontal, and then if you turn it this way and you have any type of vertical screen, you can adjust the kickstand and also have it vertical. I will say that if you're using vertical mode, there's a certain limit to where you need to pull out the kickstand. Otherwise, the like balance is thrown off and the screen might topple over. I traveled for 2 full years over a 3-year period, which is another story for another day. Let me know if you want to hear about that. But I trained myself to work exclusively on one laptop screen because I know that I wasn't going to have access to second monitors. And there was a time when I was using like 3 monitors, and then I downgraded to 2. And I was like, okay, I need to not be reliant on any secondary screens, so let me train myself to be on one small 13-inch at the time laptop screen. I wish I had something like this portable monitor because it would have made my life so much easier. For like emails and having a second screen for a second web browser, and people might not know this, but I am a web developer, and referencing a design on one screen and code on another screen is like super helpful. And like now I have to toggle back and forth because I still even use one single laptop. Well, I guess I now have 2 screens if I want to. But I really wish I had this when I was traveling. I was working remotely, and it would have made my life so much easier for working, day-to-day tasks, things like that. Okay, so you heard all about the specs, you heard about the features, and a little bit of my experience using it. So now, is it worth it? For me, 100% yes. This is a great addition for you to have for a lot of different purposes. If you're traveling, it's a great companion for you to have a second screen. If you're at home, it's great to have around the house for a lot of different things. You can use this for a picture frame, although you do need to connect it to some sort of USB-C device for an extended amount of time. Maybe a very specific use case, but that's something you can do. But you can also use this for your desk if you need a secondary screen for some reasons, and you might not need a secondary screen for others. you don't need it all the time. You can easily collapse it and store it away. And plus, if you want to go somewhere like a co-working space, or you want to go to an office for a few days a week, you can totally bring it along with you, and then you're used to it. You have everything set up. It's ready to go. For me, this worked great. Like I said, I plugged it in. It turned on right away. I really had no issues. I went into the menus, adjusted some of the brightness and the contrast, and it was perfect. Great. Good to go. For gaming and editing photos, like I said, there might be other screens that Arzopa sells that are more specifically catered to that. Like if you're looking for something with a higher refresh rate, or you're looking for something brighter or higher resolution, like I don't think